Welcome, everyone, to this month's Spiritist Life. My name is Marcus, and on behalf of the Spiritist Federation of Florida, I would like to thank you for being here with us. We are thrilled to be connected for you, with you, for another great topic with another great speaker. Before I present our speaker tonight, I would like to invite you to join me in this opening prayer. Dear Lord, I ask you please that you bless each and one of us that is watching this live stream. May we always be vibrating in peace and love and do our best to make this world a better place to live. So be it. Join us with the topic Transformation Begins with Self Discovery is our speaker, Lia Gouveia. She is an active worker of the U.S. Spiritist movement and a board member of the Spiritist Society of North Beach in Maryland since its incorporation in 2009. Currently, she is serving as a vice president of this society. Professionally, Lear manages enterprise applications and holds a bachelor in computer science. It is, if time permits, we will allow some questions from our chat, so don't be shy. Welcome, Leah. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Marcos. Good afternoon, good evening, dear friends. Thank you so much for your kind invitation, Andrea, and the Spiritist Federation of Florida. I got to know that there are 15 centers that compile the Federation of Florida, and it's a true blessing to have so many workers and so many spiritists in Florida. I'm talking to you from the state of Virginia, and I'm part of two centers here in Maryland. We are only four, but we do have our symposiums every 2 years, and we try to work together as one because we understand that is united that we can do much more. And from all the places that are connected with us here, I appreciate your time, and I would like to start sharing this topic with you, which is transformation begins in self-discovery. This was a topic discussed in our last symposium of Maryland. I just had summarized a little bit due to the time constraint here to share some ideas with you. I'm not here in the position of speaker, but in the position of a student of the Spiritist doctrine, to learn with each one of you how we can undergo this transformative process and how we can fulfill our tasks and the purpose of our lives and how we can become better spirits, better souls. And when we built this presentation, we thought about this analogy between us and these beautiful creatures, which are butterflies, which have a small cycle of life, but they have so much to teach us. After they leave their eggs and they become a caterpillar, they undergo different phases of transformation, what we call metamorphosis, until they can, become adults and become beautiful butterflies and find the purpose why they were created. So this is the same with us. Each one of us, first of all, we need to recognize what we are doing here in this material world in a short period of time, even if we can live 100+ years, is very short. What is the purpose of our lives? What we are here to do, and how can we transform ourselves for the better? If you look this image here, and take the analogy of the butterfly, we have to start from the beginning with what we call self-discovery, then through our different existence or reincarnations, learn and discover more about ourselves, and then one day we're going to become perfect, beautiful spirits. So, right now, because we are not yet perfect beings, perfect spirits, we are on this metamorphosis phase, which can sometimes can be a little bit strange. We do not look like the final result, like we see here. When you see a caterpillar or when you see a pupa, you see different phases of a butterfly. It's hard to believe that the final result is going to be a beautiful monarch like we have here. So it's the same with us. We were created very simple, without any complexity by our creator. All of us had the same, creation, same point of creation. And then through our experience, through our lifetimes, we are going to acquire more and more knowledge in terms of intellectual and moral development, to the point that we are all going to find perfection, purity, beauty. So we are now on these intermediary phases, but hanging there, because we are going to, through time and our own effort, become these beautiful butterflies. And this is the purpose. But now, leaving the idea of this analogy, let's think more about who are we. And we learn through Spiritism that we have a threefold nature. We have, each one of us, a divine seed in us. We are all immortal beings because no one dies, and we are living temporarily here in a physical body to fulfill tasks. We have a reincarnatory plan before we came, with some topics, some challenges, some tasks that we are here to fulfill. So we need to discover what are the reasons for us to be incarnated here, and then fulfill these these tasks, but without missing the point that we are divine in a sense, without missing the point that we are spirits, that we do not belong here, that we are here just in a trip to learn, to share knowledge, to accomplish things, to meet, other spirits, other souls, to work together, or sometimes to reconcile, to make amendments, so then we can graduate and go to a different stage of our evolutionary path. So let's have clear in mind who we are in essence, and what's the reason, the purpose of our lives here. And as we are incarnated here, we must find a purpose in our lives. And I'm going to start with this quote from Pablo Picasso, which is a Spanish, famous Spanish painter. And I like it very much what he said once. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. So we all have our own gifts. So we need to understand and find our abilities, our gifts, our talents. And once we know that, we need to share with others, because a gift is not something we need to keep for us, but it is to share. So find your gifts, find your talents, and share with others. And as the spirit Joanna de Angelis said on this book, Self-Discovery, without a spiritual view on the physical existence, life itself would remain without sense of meaning. So we need to find purpose, we need to find meaning in our lives, and it's only with a spiritual point of view, as immortal spirits, that we are going to feel fulfilled in our essence. If we just live a material life, we are just going to be feeding one of the parts which is the one that is temporary, the one that dies. So we need to feed our souls, we need to feed our essence, which is divine and spiritual. And by doing that, we are going to find purpose, we are going to feel good about ourselves, and we are going to really accomplish the tasks we were born for. Okay? So if you have an opportunity, this Spirit Joana de Angelis uh, gave us an entire book about the process of self-discovery, which is not something we can do in one lifetime, but we need to start now. And as we get to know ourselves, then it's easier to identify what we need to develop, what we need to change, and what it's already good that we should keep. So this idea of identifying your gifts, sharing your gifts, it goes back to the parable of talents, which is found in the Gospel of Matthew. And if you are probably familiar with this parable, it's about three servants. They all receive different quantities of talents, which was a silver coin at the time. And nowadays we talk about talents in a different way, but these three servants, one received 5 talents, the other received 2 talents, and the third one received 1 talent. The two first ones, even though they received different quantities, they were able to work and multiply these talents. But the third one was afraid, was lazy, did not do anything with the talent, and just buried the talent, and nothing was done. And Jesus teaches on this parable, which I found there is another one, which is the parable of mines, which has the same concept. It's just that it's not talent, it's mines, it's another currency of the time, but always with the idea that we have the responsibility to share our talents, our abilities, our gifts. We need to multiply. As we multiply, we are going to receive more, our master said. And if we bury, then we are going to even lose the little ones that we have. It's not something that we need to keep for us, it's something that we need to give to others. And uh, on the Gospel according to Spiritism, there is a message that tells us about the importance of sharing our talents. I'm going to read here with you. All of you who can produce something, give. And who cannot produce something? All of us can produce something and differently because we are all unique. We all have different abilities and talents. So give off your talents, give off your inspirations, give off your hearts, which God will bless you. So when we give, we receive. More we share, more we multiply, more it comes back our way. This is the law, right? But we do not have to give to receive. Is to give with our hearts, with love. May your intelligence also come to aid your brothers and sisters. So intelligence, it's a great talent to share, but the intelligence towards something good, because we see that intelligence without morality can actually destroy. So it's important to develop also morality. All of you can give, whatever may be your social status, you have something you can share. And it's not true? Whatever God may have given you, you owe part of it to those who lack what is necessary. So not only it is important to share in a charitable way, but it's also our responsibility to share all the blessings and gifts that we received, gifts that we have, or gifts that are part of us spirits. And this is a message from the spirit named Jean. It is on the Gospel according to Spiritism. And even though it was a message collected in Bordeaux in 1861, it can be applied to us right now. So it's a timeless message. So it's very, very important for us to remain focused on what we need to accomplish on this life. Now, let's go uh, deep and enter on the study of tonight, which is the process of getting to know ourselves. And on the Spirit's book, on question 919, which is a very well known question, we hear Kardec asking the spirits, what is the most effective means for improving ourselves in this life and for resisting the draw of evil or temptation? And the answer from the superior spirit is a sage, in this case Socrates. He was referring to Socrates. Here we have a sculpture of Socrates, which was a ancient philosopher from Greece. He, at that time, the time he lived, he was already teaching, his students the importance of self-knowledge. So know thyself, get to know who you are, because it's just by knowing who we are that we are going to identify what needs to be changed, transformed. By identifying our weaknesses, we are going to find ways to resist temptation or to resist mistakes, so, yes, Socrates was correct, and the good spirits are aligned with him to the point that we learn on the gospel, according to Spiritism, that Socrates and Plato, his pupil, his student at the time, they are considered precursors of Spiritism and the Christian ideas, because we are aligned with the same. And he even said more, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. If we want to become wise people one day, and we want and we must, because we do need to develop the wing of morality, um, and develop all the virtues, not only intelligence, we must know ourselves. He famously declared that an examined life was not worth living. Why? Because it's a waste of time. If I have the blessing, the opportunity to incarnate, and it's not an easy process, but we are here with all this knowledge, and we do not use this knowledge for anything, and we do not observe our attitudes, we do not identify our weaknesses, we do not identify our talents. We are wasting our incarnation, because by doing this self-reflection we can definitely improve ourselves much faster, and we know it's a need, because for us to reach happiness, purity, uh, beauty, peace, all these promised by Jesus and the good spirits, we must become perfect one day. But we are still undergoing evolutionary path. We are still on the cocoon phases, like the butterflies, right? So we must be patient with ourselves, because we need time, but we need to do our part. We need to make efforts so we can identify what is good in us, that we already accomplished, and what is still needs to be developed. And we need to help each other on this process. Okay, it's very important. So, another spirit that gives us a recipe step by step how we can get to know ourselves is St. Augustine, which on his lifetime underwent an inner transformation process. If you read about his his life experience, he, like Paul of Tarsus, he, uh, you know, underwent this inner transformation. So he has knowledge to tell us how to do that. And he told us, at the end of each day, I examined my conscience, reviewed what I had done, and asked myself whether or not I had failed to fulfill some duty, and whether or not anyone might have read a reason to complain about me. So it's in a very simple way. When you lay down, you go to bed to sleep, just before you simply turn, your side and sleep, do your reading, do your prayers, and meditate about your day, how you behaved. Ask yourself, is there anyone who had reasons to complain about me this day? Did I do everything I could have done, towards goodness, towards my process of self knowledge and evolution? Think about each moment of your day, because by observing your behavior, you are going to identify what you still need to change and what is already good, because we already conquered good things. We are no longer primitive beings. We already lived many times, many lives, and every time it's a new opportunity that we come here to learn a little bit more. So St. Augustine tells us those who every night would recall all their actions during the day and would ask themselves what good or evil they have done, praying to God and their guardian angel to enlighten them, would acquire great strength for self improvement, because believe me, God will assist them. Yes. So let's follow St. Augustine, and we are not going to regret. We are going to find this self improvement in a much faster way. And he tells us pray, ask for enlightenment, ask for God, ask for your guardian angel. We all have our guardian angels dedicated to help us, but we need to reach to them. Pray to our Master Jesus, our biggest brother, you know, and all these high evolved spirits, or more evolved than us, you assist us and you help us to find ways to improve ourselves. Therefore, ask yourselves about what you have done and towards what aim you acted in a particular circumstance, whether you have done anything that you would blame in others, and whether you have done anything that you would not dare profess. So if we have done things that others can put a blame on us, or if we have done things that we feel ashamed, then these are signs that we need to improve ourselves. So by now, we all understand that self knowledge is the key for individual improvement. So, and he continues, examine what you may have done against God or the divine laws, then against your neighbor, people that are around you, your coworkers, your family members, your friends, and lastly, against yourselves. And then the answers will be either repose for your conscience or an indication of a wrong that you must amend. Ask how you would judge if it had been done by someone else. Seek to know what others think about you, and do not neglect the opinion of your enemies, because they have no interest in disguising the truth. Yes, it is the people that do not like us that you help us to progress faster, because they will not be shy to point fingers to us, to highlight our imperfections, our defects. Therefore, they are going to help us to become aware of what we still need to improve and change. Let those who are truly willing to improve themselves examine their own conscience in order to uproot from it their evil tendencies. So it's all about our conscience. And where is God's law written? Exactly in our conscience. It is question 621. So it is there that we need to make self-reflection. Since humans carries God's law in their conscience, why does it have to be revealed to them? Very wise question from Kardec. The answer is they have forgotten and disregarded, but God has willed for them to remember. So, why this comes over and over? Because we, like this cartoon, if you're familiar with Pinocchio and the little cricket was the conscience of Pinocchio. And this story actually is much more, I would say it's wise and much more for kids because it represents like this it's a boy made of wood representing the material life who needs to follow his conscience, who needs to learn how to educate himself and behave well so he can become a true boy, right? He can be a true spirit. He can really find his uh, purpose and his destination, which is to be a perfect spirit, a son of God. Question 876. What's the basis of justice? Christ has told you, do unto others whatsoever you would have them do unto you. It is the golden rule that we all know, but it's so hard to live, it's so hard to put into practice. But this is what we are here for, acquiring all this knowledge, not to just become intellectuals and share with others how many books we read and all the knowledge we acquired, but is to put in practice. It is to help us develop the other wing, which is the morality, which is to fulfill the divine laws, to live accordance to the divine laws. So God has placed in our hearts the sense of justice. So we need to put in practice, pretty much. Ask yourself what you would want your neighbor to do in a similar situation. So we have a recipe. We know how to behave. God could not give us a safer guide than our conscience. And if in our rebelliousness we do not listen to our conscience, then here it comes the good spirits, it comes our mentors, our guardian angels, trying to refresh our memories and say, look, you're not taking a good path. Come back. You need to uh, fulfill your purpose. You need to reach perfection. It is your destination. You can delay, you can take shortcuts, but you need to get there. And why postpone if we can, go much faster, right? And we have all the tools with us. Another quote from Socrates: the perfect human being is all human beings put together. It is a collective. It is all of us together that make perfection. So our perfection is relative because we're still humans. Perfect only God can be. But like this wise spirit told us before, together, as we combine our talents, our gifts, our abilities, we can already be perfect. Therefore, our world is going to become perfect as well. If we look nowadays, it is a chaos everywhere because we learn we are undergoing a transition, and there are many spirits that are having their last chance, you know, it's why it's a moment of turmoil. It's a moment that we need to hold hands, help one another to remain loyal, strong, to keep a strong faith, and work in teams, in a collective effort, so we can do much more. So let's remember moral persons are kind, human, and benevolent towards all, regardless of race or creed, because they regard all people as their brothers and sisters. While we still do not see each other as brothers and sisters, we are not going on the right path. We learn that we are children of the same God and Creator. We all have the divine seed in us, in a latent state, waiting the right conditions to be developed. Therefore, there are no eternal evil. Basically, when we look around, it is what we call evil is basically it's sick spirits, ignorant spirits, spirits that do still lack knowledge, intellectual, and mostly moral, spirits that do not know yet how to behave, how to live together, how to love, how to be kind, how to be more human, how to develop compassion, benevolence. So if we are uh, already on the path, if already know this knowledge, if we already encounter, we had our Damascus moment with our Master Jesus, then it is our responsibility to understand more our brothers and sisters and to spread the seeds of goodness and light. Therefore, we are here to hold hands and help each other. Um, I have a lot of material to share, but I think due to the time constraint, I will try to just bring the main points. When we are talking about perfection, I mentioned that perfect only God can be, talking about the absolute perfection. But as humans, we are going to be perfect one day when we get rid of our imperfections. And as I read, combined, we can do things in a more perfect way. But why Jesus said on the Gospel of Matthew, be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. It is to give us a goal. The same way that we learn that Jesus is our model and guide, so we can observe Jesus' examples, teachings, parables, and how he behaved, and then we have a moral code to follow. We say he's our guide because he is, opening the path, the way to us. He's showing the light, showing the guidelines for us. So it's the same with the model of our Creator. Yes, our Father, Mother, God is perfect and absolutely never seen. Therefore, it is a model for us. Look the perfection we see in nature and compare nature with our human creations, and you can see how far we are to become really perfect beings. But we are going to get there. We are going to get there. I just want to leave here a highlight saying that God, it is the absolute. So God possesses infinite perfection in all things, and us humans, as we evolve, we are going to become more and more perfect, but our perfection is always going to be relative compared with God. But how to reach this human perfection? Just going to bring here few highlights that we learn on the Spiritist literature. We are not asked to become angels right now or perfect spirits. We are just asked to become more humans. So to become more humans is to develop more kindness, more charity, to exercise love, because love can be something difficult for us to grasp. And to the point of loving our enemies is even more difficult because we still are struggling to love our most dear beloved ones, the ones that live with us, the ones that share our lives in a day to day, you know. But it is possible. by exercises of love, by doing good, by praying, by practicing what we call a moral charity, because charity is more than giving alms or helping, with material things. It is about smiling to someone. It is about being compassionate to someone. It's about caring. It's about being nice to people. It is being about being more patient, more tolerant. And as we exercise more and more these qualities, these virtues, we are progressing our moral side, our moral wing. Um, we reach a point that we have so much intelligence in our world, but we are using our intelligence to destroy each other, to destroy our planet. We are exploiting, nature. We are exploiting humankind. Why? Because we still do not understand that we are all interconnected. We are part of this chain, this invisible network of people, animals, plants, planets. We are all interconnected. So we cannot be happy alone. It's just by learning how to respect everything and everything that we are going to feel happy in this world and on the next worlds to come. So, but we need to get rid of our selfishness. We need to get rid of our pride, because this is what the spirits tell us. This is the biggest obstacle to our moral progress, because these two, they are opposites to charity. It's not possible to share our talents and gifts if we just want for ourselves. If you are so selfish and so self-centered. So we need to give. And it's the same. We cannot feel superior to others. Because as we learn through charity, is modest, it is simple, is no judgmental. We need to let it go, what I call negative pride. And I call negative pride because there is one type of pride that I feel is positive, is when we feel good about ourselves, when we accomplish something, when we value ourselves. So the problem is not to feel good about ourselves. The problem is when we feel superior to others, when we feel that we know more, we know better, when we believe that we have the right to humiliate others, to step on others, when we want, um, you know, to be the favorite and superior in everything. And our material world excites much more our pride, our vanity, our selfishness. So it's why we need to remain loyal to the gospel of Jesus, and we need to have a spiritual view. We need to live a life as immortal spirits. Therefore, I'm not saying that we should not enjoy the fruits of our work, or that it is wrong, to live the pleasures of this world. It's not that, but everything, it is available for us, but not everything is good for us, like Paul already mentioned in one of his letters. So think what is good for you, what is needed for you. And if you want to follow the steps of Jesus, if you really want to deserve better places and go faster towards these happy worlds, you must focus on your spiritual progress and live a material life with a spiritual view. So, in your day to day, even though you are doing your material tasks, have a spiritual view. Do more than what is expected from you. Do your best, do with meaning, do with purpose, and then even if you, at the end of the day, you feel you are tired and exhausted, you are going to sleep well, feeling that you have done everything that it was expected from you as immortal spirit. Okay? What else I would like to share? I had mentioned the importance of love, which is the most sublime on Christian charity. Is why Jesus is the path, the way, the truth. He is the symbol of love. He is the love that materialized in our planet. And us who had the blessing to be touched by his teachings and examples, we should not miss this opportunity. Exercise love on you, by being a little bit more tolerant, a little bit more patient. And then little by little, we are going to expand this love to the point that one day we are going to be able to love even our enemies, the ones that hurt us, the ones that do not like us. But it's also very important to learn that to love an enemy, it's not the same as loving a dear one, a friend. And there is also a step by step on the gospel explained to us how to love an enemy, or what does it mean to love an enemy. And I'm going through each one here because I think it's very important for our reflection. First, it means holding neither hatred, rancor, nor desire for vengeance against them. So if I make efforts not to hate or to eliminate the rancor from my heart, or if, even though I want, but I do not take action to be, you know, um, vingative, I'm already on the way to love an enemy. Second, it means forgiving them unconditionally and without ulterior motives for the evil they have caused us. When we understand that someone hurt us by ignorance because they still do not know how to comply with the divine laws, or because we hurt them in this lifetime or in a previous lives, we can understand. And then when we understand that forgiveness is not about the other one, but is about letting go all these negative emotions from us spirits, then you are going to learn how to forgive. The same way that Jesus was able to say, Father, forgive them because they do not know what they are doing. So he was in the cross. I cannot even imagine all the physical, emotional pain that this spirit, who had no need to incarnate in our planet, who underwent a very difficult process to become, you know, uh, um, a human being here on this world. Basically, he had no need to reincarnate, but he incarnated to give us an example from beginning to end. He, on this last moment, he realized that the spirits that crucified him did not know better. There was a level of ignorance of the divine laws, a level of weaknesses, to the point that even his disciples were very human. They were afraid, they denied him, they condemned him. We all know the stories, right? About Peter, who denied him 3 times, about Judas, who, point him to the soldiers because he wanted to do a human revolution. He did not understand the message of Christ. He did not understand that the revolution was not a human, because he was not the king of this material world. Jesus is the king of heavens, the king of the superior worlds, the worlds that we are going to live there one day. So let's think about that. So coming back here, love an enemy means not setting up any obstacles to reconciliation. Let's give another chance to the ones that hurt us. You know, if they recognize they made a mistake and they can't reconcile, let's be open for that. Fourth, it means wanting the good for them instead of wishing them evil. Oh, maybe we are not able to talk to them, live to them, with them, but we can pray for them. You know, so it means rejoicing instead of despairing for the good that reaches them. So it's really to be good towards everyone, not only the ones that we like or the ones that like us. It means extending to them a helping hand in case of necessity. It means abstaining either in word or act from any sin that might harm them. Finally, it means repaying their evil with good in every sin with no intention of humiliating them. So it is easy, not, it's not easy, but it is possible. Yes, it is if we really want to do, if we exercise and ask the good spirits, ask our mentors to help us on this process, because we truly want to learn how to love. You know, love is the way, and Jesus came on this world to set an example to us, to invite us, and he keeps inviting us every day, you know, to come, you know, towards him. He is our master, he is our guide. Therefore, let's do our part to deserve to be called one day good disciples, good students. So, in the Spiritist doctrine, absolute respect is rendered to human diversity, and it is in the Spiritist responsibility to cooperate in the progress of humankind by practicing charity in its most far reaching sense, benevolence towards all, indulgence for others' imperfections, and the forgiveness of offenses. Very difficult to be good towards everyone, but this is the way to our progress. Very difficult to accept the imperfections of others, and even more if their imperfections hurt us. But we now have the step by step how to love an enemy. So let's try to learn and put that into practice. Just as Jesus, our guide and model, taught without prejudices of any kind as to color, ethnicity, gender, creed, or economic, social, or moral standing. So let's be the same to our brothers and sisters. Let's make efforts not to discriminate anyone, to learn how to love each other to the point that we can even learn how to love our enemies. And who are our enemies? Is people that we have difficulties to have relationships, people that do not like us or we do not like them, people that do not agree with us. So you name it. So we all have, if not enemies, you know, at least adversaries or competitors, uh, people that we have difficulties to live with and to relate. So with that, I would like to to stop here. I don't know if Marcos would like to come back to, uh, share any ideas or add your own comments, questions.
I actually have a question from one of our viewers, and the question is why it is so difficult to take this path of self-discovery when knowing this is essential for us to evolve.
Yeah, it is difficult, yes, but like we saw on the presentation, let's follow St. Augustine. And I think we have to start with baby steps, right? Little by little. We're not going to, from one day to another, identify everything that is in us, because we are spirits that lived many lives. So if we can make analogy with onion, we have many layers to peel. So we just see right now our current personality, right? We just have this lifetime, but there is much more that it is in our unconscious, that it is part of our past lives. So it is not easy. It requires not only these self reflections, but many times, we learn with our own behavior, with our own reactions. We learn as we do psychotherapy. We learn through multiple lives, really. It's not an easy process. It's not one life work. But now that we know, and if we can follow different tips and recommendations here, I think it's possible. you know Observe your behavior, how you feel in certain situations, and then you're going to recognize how many times we surprise ourselves with our behavior. Say, oh my goodness, I thought I was already a patient person, until someone crossed in front of me. Oh, I thought I was no longer jealous. And then here something happens and you feel you're jealous. Oh, I really misbehaved on this situation. I was, under pressure. I was nervous. So you see, it is through experiences that we are going to recognize in us what we still need to change. But we also need to recognize what we already are and what is already good in us. So self love, self respect, and then self knowledge. This is what comes to mind. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Uh, a lot to reflect on this amazing topic that you showed us tonight. I would like to ask you to be so kind and conduct our final prayer, please.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Marcos. And thank you, everybody. So I would like to invite each one of us here tonight. First, acknowledge your presence here and how important it is for you to be here with us tonight. We are here, spirits from both realms of life. Each one of us, our guard angels, our mentors, the mentors of our spirit centers, the mentors of this Spiritist Federation, this movement of inner transformation. These teachings, they come to our way to make us better spirits, better souls, to make us happier, to show to us that we are not alone, that we can do much more. We are on the right place with the right people, on the right moment, and we have so much to offer and to give. So let's take this moment to breathe in and raise our thoughts to our Creator. our Mother, Father, God, to raise our thoughts to our Master Jesus, who is with us until the end of time, who said that no one will be left behind. Let's connect to our mentors and let's reach our spiritual side. Let's take this moment to leave our worries behind and to trust, to feel these good energies brought to us by our spiritual friends. Let's feel these blessings, these flowers, this rain of blessings on us, to our homes, to our family members, to each one connect today. And let's not forget that this is available for us every day, every time that we need. But we need to take action. We need to do our part and connect with these brothers and sisters that are ahead of us in knowledge, intelligence, in virtues. They are here with us, helping each one of us to feel a little bit more loved, to feel that they care about us. And with a lot of gratitude to each one of you here, we say thank you, and so be it.
So be it. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a pleasure to have you all here tonight. And until our next time with Spiritus Live, we'll see you then. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, dear friends. Bye bye.